So what is a seller's concession in real estate? This is a commonly misunderstood phrase, and we'll demystify it in this video. I'm Nick at Houseit. Visit our website houseit.com to learn how to save if you're buying, selling, or renting in New York or Florida. So let's get started. So many buyers, sellers, and real estate agents often misunderstand the implication of a seller's concession. While it's certainly the case that a seller's concession can signify a discount, i.e. if you want a 6% seller's concession, you're asking for 6% off, it's more often the case that the specific terminology seller's concession is used when referencing a concept whereby a buyer needs a seller to help provide them with liquidity for closing costs. The way that works mechanically is, let's say the buyer wants to submit an offer of $1 million. Instead of submitting that offer of $1 million, the buyer submits an offer of $1,050,000. Now, of course, the buyer isn't just giving an extra $50K to the seller. The buyer is raising the purchase price so that the buyer can finance a larger loan amount. And then, of course, at the closing, the seller credits back that $50K, which was the increase beyond that originally negotiated purchase price of $1 million. So if you're a real estate agent and someone is asking you for a concession, let's say you're the listing agent, don't automatically assume that they are basically negotiating. Of course, they're going to negotiate the price, but the concept of a seller's concession is largely independent of a discount off of the listing price. And just to reiterate, why would a buyer need a seller's concession? Well, if they don't have enough money for closing costs. Let's say, for example, you just became a doctor and you make $500K a year. You have a great debt-to-income ratio and you can afford a pretty expensive property in terms of your monthly, but you might not have enough money for closing costs, and perhaps you might want to do renovation. So you need liquidity, you need more money. And that's what a seller's concession will allow you to do. Now, before we let you go, we just want to mention one thing about concessions, and that is lenders often have limitations on the size, the allowable size of a seller's concession. And they have a limitation because at the end of the day, they don't want to basically underwrite a loan, give somebody $800K, and then that person literally just cashes out, a large percentage of that money directly into their pockets, because you have no idea how the money is, in theory, going to be spent. So if you are doing a seller's concession, just check with your lender to see what sort of limits they have. And also keep in mind that no seller has any obligation to agree to a seller's concession. So if it's a competitive listing and there's a lot of other people who are submitting offers like yours and they don't have a seller's concession, well, the odds are pretty low that the seller will go with you. So there you have it. We hope you enjoyed this video, and if you did, please hit like and subscribe. Whatever's on your mind, leave it below in the comments. I'm Nick at Houseit, and we'll see you on the next one.